Hello and welcome to another episode of Keep It Locked with me, Simon Hill, as always. We've got another incredible episode lined up for you here. It's so insightful, but that's coming up in a moment. Before we get onto that though, make sure you're following Keep It Locked across all of social media at Keep It Locked Pod for all of your latest content updates, news on guests and so much more. I'm across social media as well, at Simon H Official on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. You'll get a little bit of randomness thrown in there as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube and follow across Apple Podcasts and Spotify to be the latest notified when new episodes of Keep It Locked dropped. Also, we've got some brand new official Keep It Locked podcast merch. Head over to My Wrestle Merch. Pins and Knuckles have rebranded and it looks awesome. Got my own little section there as well. I'm in some really good company, you know, the likes of Tony Storm on there, Flash Morgan Webster, so many more. So go and check it out, the official Keep It Locked merchandise. And this episode, let's do it, let's get into it, because I interviewed his tag partner only a few months ago, Mecha Wolf, and it was one of the most captivating, fascinating, insightful interviews I've ever conducted in my entire career. This one is even better. We go into depth with Bestia 666, one half of La Rebellion, and we talk about his career spanning so long. We talk about his appearances with MLW, WWE tryouts, as well as his AAA career, winning the Crash Tag Team Champions with Mecha Wolf after beating the one and only Lucha Bros, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. before they went off to AEW. We talk about his emotions during that match and what it was like to capture the Crash Tag Team Championships. We also talk about his father, Damien 666, who some of you may remember was on WCW. He was a part of the LWO Latino World Order with Eddie Guerrero. I also didn't know until this interview that Rey Mysterio Jr. is Bestia's godfather. So we hear about all those stories involving Rey Mysterio, the likes of Eddie Guerrero, some of the locker room talk at WCW at the time, and so much more. It's all here in this packed episode, so let's do it with Bestia 666. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you very much for having me. Really, I'm excited. Well, first of all, please bear with me because my English is not the best. I'll do my best.
It's
well,
cool, man.
My accent is not the best.
I think your accent's cool, man. I think you've got that little bit of, you know, the TJ and California mix in there. So I think you've done good on that, dude. But we'll take our time, man. We're in for a good episode, and we can take our time. And I mean, first of all, tell me how things are in Tijuana at the moment. Life is slowly getting back to some form of normality here in England. Is it the same in Tijuana?
Exactly the same. Of course, in Mexico, we can wrestle. We can still wrestle. I was able to actually work in California. I wrestled 3 times already, but then I just found out that like 3 or 4 days ago, they just canceled everything in California. So we'll have to wait a little more. But other than that, things are very normal. I mean, you know, restaurants and you know, what else? Like gyms, they just opened gyms again, and we have to keep our distance. But that's what I really wanted to do all this time. Like I wanted to hit the gym because I have a couple of dumbbells and that's it. But it's not the same. It's
No.
not the same. But yeah, things are okay here. They're not as bad as people say, you know.
But let's talk about Bestia 666 because you have had such a journeyed, storied career. And you're still in your very early 30s and you've had all these amazing experiences. Let's start from the start. For what people may not know, and I apologize if I try and do some Spanish pronunciations here.
Go for it. Go for it.
But you made your debut 2009 at your father's home promotion, Los Perros del Mal. How was
Yes.
that? Was that okay? Yeah.
I mean, well, first of all, like I'm a second generation luchador, but I like wrestling, but I like watching wrestling. I mean, I didn't picture myself actually doing that as my job. I used to play American football. Um, I don't know if it's the same in England or not, but I mean, shoulder pads and helmet, that kind of football.
NFL
I had
style.
NFL style football. So I had a scholarship in high school, and then I got um, another scholarship for college in Mexico. So I was doing that, always involved in sports. But I don't know what happened, and all of a sudden I just decided. I called my dad and I told him, you know what, I want to become a wrestler. And he's like, are you sure? Like he almost cried. He didn't want me to become a wrestler. Now I understand why. I mean, so much sacrifice, sacrifice, family, like birthdays, these holidays, But he talked to me for a bit, and yeah, I mean, I took the decision, and next day I drove. I was living in Monterrey, Mexico, so I drove down to Mexico City where I used to live. It was a 12-hour drive, and from there I just started. It was a little bit of pressure for me because as a second generation luchador, people and the media expects you to be successful, and they try to compare our careers, and I'm like, my dad has been wrestling for 37 years. I mean, there's no way we can compare our careers. I'm just training right now, well, at that time. But yeah, Hijo del Perro Aguayo, he helped me a lot. Psychosis, all those guys, they give me good advices, and was, like I said, so much pressure, uh, and I decided to have another name. Like I didn't want to start as Hijo de Damien 666 or Damien 666 Junior. No, no, no. I actually, my real name is Leonardo. That's why I laugh when you say Leonardo DiCaprio. My real name is Leonardo. So I wore a red mask, like a very simple mask, a red one, and my ring name was Leo, Mr. Leo, you know, because like I said, I didn't want people to criticize me. Well, they always do, but I mean, at that time, I wasn't ready for it. So nobody knew that my dad was Damien 666. So I I started to build my name, and I was gaining experience. My dad and Hijo del Perraguayo, they told me, hey, the best way that you can do to, become a wrestler is keep training, and as you're training, you're gonna be wrestling. So I was doing that. So actually, I prepared myself for about 4 months for my first match. You know, and from there, I just kept training and wrestling, and that's been 11 years now.
Wow, wow, what a story.
Yeah.
And you actually kind of touched on some of the bullet points that I had there. So let's go back to that. So obviously you said you started from scratch.
Oh,
You didn't want to kind of live in the shadows of your father at the time, Damien 666,
exactly.
who we're going to go on to a little bit later on. But you started and evolved your character as Leo. And you're one half of a tag team, Los Strippers, with Riviero. Is that true? Like, tell me about the story on how
Yes.
that came
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, well, that guy, he just moved back. Well, he moved back to Brazil. He was in this group called Asha Bahia. This one, what was the song? Beso en la boca. I don't know if you know that
Yeah,
song, but
yeah.
it was very popular back in the day. Uh, so he told Perro Aguayo, "Hey, you know what? I want to become a pro wrestler," and he's like, "Okay, well, my friend Leo, so he also wants to become a wrestler. Why don't you guys team up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" So of course he was all jacked, all like he had the stripper look, and I was just big at that time. I was like 105 pounds. Well, for me it's a
Wow.
lot. I mean 205, 105, uh, 205, 205. Um, and so I had to lose weight. And yeah, we worked for about 2 years. Yeah, but we were. I mean, I had a mask. That's why I did that gimmick, the stripper gimmick. But I mean, yeah, good times, good times.
And you would go on to repackage yourself after that 2 year experience of being in that tag team. You would go on to possibly, arguably, the biggest promotion in Mexico, AAA. And you would then repackage
Mhm.
yourself as Bestia 666. Um, what were the thoughts for you to go into this as, you're carrying a part of your father's legacy, but now starting to establish yourself as a repackaged pro wrestler?
Like I said, I was wrestling as Leo for 2 years, and Perros del Mal, the group, we were already a promotion, but it was also the small group of my dad, Perraguayo, Mr. Aguila, who else? Halloween and Psychosis. Um, he's like, you know what? We're gonna go to AAA. We're gonna appear in the biggest event of the year of that promotion called Triple Mania, and you have to be ready. This is your opportunity uh, for actually people can see you. And I'm like, okay, and that's where I changed my name to Bestia. And like I said, a lot of pressure. You know, the promotion itself, it was big, but at that time it wasn't as big as AAA. So I was really nervous, of course. I didn't feel like I was ready, but thanks to that, uh, it helped me to become what I am now, you know?
You were surrounded by all these incredible guys, Psychosis, Halloween, obviously your father as well. You know, did they help calm your nerves and talk you into, you know, look, everything's going to be all right. You go out there, you do what you've been doing so far, and you are now Bestia 666. Everything is going to be great, and that's going to kick off your career.
That changed a lot. Well, first I didn't want to wear a mask. Um, I didn't feel comfortable wearing a mask. I couldn't breathe. It's because I was gonna say the word, but I don't know if I pronounce it correctly.
Go for it.
Claustrophobic. That's the way you say it.
Claustrophobic, yeah, you got it,
Yeah,
you
I
got it.
couldn't I couldn't breathe. So once I put up my face paint, like that itself changed my life, changed my character. I felt very comfortable. But of course, all these guys that I mentioned, of course, they gave me pointers. They helped me a lot, and they make me feel like I was part of that, um, for lack of a word, of that private group. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like I wasn't ready to be there. Like I didn't deserve it, you know. Like I didn't want other people to think, oh, just because he's the son of Damien 666, he's there. So I that was my battle at that time. Like I felt like I didn't deserve all that. I mean, I didn't have anything, but I mean, there were like 50 guys, and being second generation, they put me on the first 10 guys. But from there, it was all me. But like I
Wow.
said, I don't know. It was just weird. It was, no, it was very uncomfortable. Like I'm very humble.
Yeah.
Of course, the 666 doesn't. I mean, it's not what I reflect, but I mean, uh, yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the comparison and people like gossiping about me.
Of
Oh, it
course.
was hard. Yeah.
I can only imagine. But, how did you overcome that issue, that was playing in your mind a lot at that time? What was the defining moment that helped you overcome all of that?
Just not listening or not paying attention to all these comments.
Yeah.
I just I mean, I always felt comfortable with myself. I knew I was like the athletic guy. Like I could do anything at that time. I was younger, of course. So yeah, I didn't care. My dad talked to me in Perro, my mom, and they were like, "Hey, don't listen to him. If you listen to that, just keep the good things and the negative things. Just put them away." So I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
Um, I was surrounded by good people, and of course also I used to talk a lot with Rey Mysterio. He's my godfather, so he of course listening to him, and like I said, I didn't like wrestling that much, but I mean Rey Mysterio was my hero, is my hero, so just by remembering of what he went through to become what he is now. I mean, he's like 5'6", 5'5", and everything is possible. So that's what kept me going.
Wow, how incredible! Out of all my research, I didn't stumble on the fact that Rey Mysterio was your godfather. So that is absolutely
Yes,
incredible. Um, and you would go on to capture your first tag belts with IWL, along with your partner at the time, which was X Fly. Was that the
X-Fly.
moment for you to then go, right, I'm finally getting somewhere. I'm finally making a name for myself without having to be associated with my father all the time.
Yeah, yeah, of course, helped me a lot. X-Fly, well, he had other name, Mosco de la Merced. It's kind of long, but it was Mosco de la Merced, and he used to wrestle for ECW. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow, no.
Very, very experienced guy. He had the hardcore gimmick style of wrestling, uh, which I think it didn't help me because I became a brawler. You know,
Right.
I didn't start like like the classic technical hold wrestling, the hold to
Mm.
hold wrestling. But I mean, it is what it is. It helped me a lot. That company, I was working for Perros del Mal, but then I had a few appearances in AAA. Es que in Mexico, there's like, let's say, like 15 venues where there's wrestling and companies. In Mexico City, there's like hundreds of them.
Wow.
So, that helped me a lot because I had a show on Monday, Tuesday, like all day. There's wrestling shows in Mexico City like all days.
Wow.
And at that time, that IWL, they were booking lots of talent, lots of talents from out of town. They booked Colt Cabana, El Genérico. I just can't remember like other names right now, but I mean, for me, it was a good exposure.
Mm.
Um, and there was this tournament, and Moscow and well, X-Fly and me won the tournament, and yeah, from there I started to get a lot of bookings. Yeah, it
And
helped
that
my
really paid
career.
off for you then, that didn't it? It did help your career because you would then, in 2012, you'd be invited to your first ever WWE tryout during a Mexican tour. How was that
Yeah,
experience? What was your reaction when you received that news?
it. I mean, the experience was good because uh, one will lie if they say that they don't want to go to WWE. So I got the invitation, but I wasn't ready for it. Like,
Mm.
I wanted to get signed, but deep inside, I knew it wasn't my time. I knew I wasn't prepared. Uh, my English wasn't as fluent as now. So no, I mean, I did it. I did. I felt good and everything. Um, After the show, because I was the only one who spoke English there. They invite me to do something with Cody Rhodes, and I got an RKO from Randy Orton. Yeah, it was a good experience. I mean, I just did it just like I said, for the experience. I did it prior for the experience. Of course, I didn't get signed, but the year after, I did another tryout, WWE tryout, December of 2013. I felt better. I felt better. Um, the guys that I remember were Pepper Parks, Drake Younger, Ricochet, and me and myself. Um, I did very well. I think I did very well. Uh, they didn't sign Ricochet. They didn't sign him. I was surprised. The only one who got signed that time was Drake Younger. So I was very
Wow.
happy for him. But I mean, I didn't know they signed him, but to become a ref. But yeah, it was. I mean, I did very good, but it was horrible at the same time. Like too much cardio. They didn't even. They didn't want it. They didn't want us to. They didn't want um, to see our characters. They just wanted to make us tired. I don't know. It was just very hard. Like too much drills.
I have heard through several people that the tryouts are intense,
Very.
very hard on the body. But I guess it's to test the endurance and if you can keep up with their schedule, because obviously it's a very, very demanding schedule that the WWE put out. But yeah, you kind of touch on a point there. You appeared on a SmackDown show, didn't you? I think it was October
The
twenty
first one in Mexico.
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you were one of Cody Rhodes' little crew that came down to the ring, and you were on the other end of an
Yeah.
RKO from Randy Orton. Like, how was that experience? Just as an experience, you've gone through the tryout, and now you're on SmackDown.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, um, well, I did good, but I knew they didn't pick me because I was the best at the tryout. I mean, everybody did well, but they chose me because I because I was speaking English, and I was able to translate to the other guy.
Mm,
Uh, but I mean, it's still, they asked other two guys. They were from CMLL. I won't say their names,
sure.
but they were very cocky. They were, oh no, my name, and what if people see me, like whatever. And I'm like, I'll
No.
do it. I don't care. Yeah. So of course I was nervous, but I mean, it felt like it was in the States, and I was nervous watching Randy Orton color like everything, the cameras, the lights. But I was in Mexico, so that kind of helped me. I mean, I wasn't gonna do much, but still, like it felt good. I mean, wrestling in I don't remember how many people were there, but like let's say like 10,000 people in that arena in Mexico. So yeah, that felt good. It was a good experience.
There's not many people that can say that taking an RKO from Randy Orton felt good, but
Yeah, he busted my lip, but I mean it was okay. Yeah.
typical Randy Orton fashion. But you would then start building on your character and your style. You would continue to evolve as Bestia 666. You were wrestling in America, against the likes of Homicide and Masada and people like this. How was the experience stepping in the ring with these sort of guys helping you develop?
Oh, you know what? That actually that show that you mentioned, um, I think that was my first show, my first or second show in the States. Um, and they called me because they saw me wrestling hardcore. So actually, working, I don't like hardcore style,
Mm.
hardcore matches, but I mean, that's what helped me get booked in the States. So I was like, let's do it. I don't care. So, funny thing, funny story, I got there, my first match against Homicide. I'm like, it was a four-way. Uh, Ricky Reyes, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
He used to wrestle in Ring of Honor. So it was a four-way. But then it comes the agent, and he's like, "Hey guys, I want to introduce you to Bestia. He's the son of the legendary Damien 666. He's been wrestling for all over the world. He worked in Japan. And that. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, take it easy. That's my dad. It's not me. Hey guys, please. Like, I didn't want them to think that I was, showing off or anything like that. But he was putting me over. I'm like, no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's my second time in the States. But yeah, I was, always still to this day, when I work with big names, uh, I feel a little nervous, but at the same time, that's what I want to be able to work against these people because you gain experience and and that's how you become a better wrestler.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess you get to learn little things, I guess, from each match when you're learning, when you're wrestling these guys like a Homicide or Masada that have been around for a very long time,
Hmm.
at multiple promotions. So it must be kind of overwhelming and very humbling as well to be stepping in the ring with those sort of guys.
Yes, yes, they're awesome. Homicide and Masala, they help me a lot, and they, you know, in this business, like people are like very bad, uh, but they help me. They talk to me and they give me advices. I didn't expect that, but at the same time, they respect my dad. So, like, thank God my dad was a good, oh, it's a good person. It's a good wrestler, and he always, he never had problems with guys. So I think that what helps
Yeah.
me now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're building your own legacy. You're clearly well liked wherever you go. I hear stories often because your current tag partner is a very good friend of mine, and I never hear. I always hear good things about Bestia, always. So I think you're building your own legacy. So I think there's much more to come. And with the lucha style, that has now become very popular in the last few years. What do you think has made lucha so respected and grow so much over the last kind of, I don't know, 5 to 10 years?
Well, the guys, of course, Rey Mysterio changed the game,
Yeah.
but he was the only one. I mean, there also were good like Hector Garza, like all the guys who wrestle in WCW, like in the what was it, like 1996, 1998.
Yeah.
Um, but I think what helped Lucha Libre to become as big as it is now is Lucha Underground. Well, that's what I think. Lucha Underground really put Lucha Libre so over that like everyone wants to do lucha. Look, I speak about the US because I'm so close to it, but like everywhere we go, like you see these American guys wearing masks or sometimes not wearing masks, but they do all lucha, and that that feels good. I mean because I think lucha libre you can work with a Japanese wrestler, with people from the UK. You can adapt because lucha libre is it's I think is the most complete forum wrestling.
Yeah. No, I love lucha, and I got into it quite a while ago. And I think you're right because I think that era of WCW really changed the way we look at lucha libre. You know, you had the Rey Mysterios, the Psychosis, Juventud
Hmm.
Guerrero. You know, all these guys that were just doing stuff we'd never seen before, and I think that
Eddie
really
Guerrero,
started.
even though he was Mexican American, but I mean he actually trained with Mexicanos, so he
Mm.
was a luchador. He was a luchador,
Which is
and
incredible. Incredible
hmm
that he was
yeah,
able to take that to such a big platform like WCW and WWE, and
yes,
it became popular. And
yes.
you became part of that growth as well when you started appearing for the likes of Lucha Underground. You know, how was your time when you first went into Lucha Underground, and obviously then with Crash as well?
Yeah, it was a short time in Lucha Underground. Actually, I went. I don't remember if it was like the middle of the third season, I think, of Lucha Underground, and they stopped for almost a year, and then they went again, and then they no, it was. I mean, I like the experience because it was the first time for me to actually look at a big promotion, a big company, you know, being in the locker room with all these names, and I felt awesome. I feel very good. It was very very good. My dad used to go with me to all those shows. Um, but for me, it was a very short period of time. I can't really say like more about Lucha Underground because I wasn't there completely. But I mean, it was a good time. But then that's where I started working with the Crash. Um, the Crash and Perro del Mal, they had a little disagreement. So you know, I don't remember how, but they just called me and I started to work with them. And now, I mean, it's my home promotion.
And you found a lot of success at Crash, winning the tag team titles from the Lucha Bros, obviously Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., with your current tag partner, Mecha Wolf. What was that feeling like? First of all, when you knew that you were going to face these guys for the tag team champions before they would then go off to AEW, and then that feeling of capturing that tag gold at your home promotion.
Yeah, well, first of all, what really helped, well, before going into that match with the Lucha Bros, working with the Crash really helped my name because I had a lot of exposure, even though the Crash doesn't have TV. But I think like very good percentage of people know about the Crash because all the guys that they book, and I was able to work with. I can't think of it. Well, even with Tyler Bate and Trent, uh, Jeff and Matt Hardy. Um, I can't remember, but I mean Shane Strickland.
Mm.
Who else? ACH. Like bunch of names. So I was gaining more experience, and I had a little feud with Pentagon Junior. And of course, we didn't go to that mask versus hair match. Um, I think they went back to AAA. I don't remember what happened, but then they were back with the Crash. We started the feud with them, and when we won the match, I mean, we're talking about like for me the best tag team in the world. Uh, a lot of people say the Young Bucks, but I mean the way Phoenix wrestles, I mean it's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but for us, I think that really helped our careers because I mean we didn't just won the belt, the championship. We defeated the Lucha Bros. That was a big accomplishment for us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, going through that match, it was I mean, for me, I've watched it back online, and it's one of the greatest lucha matches you can watch as a tag match.
Thank you.
I mean, going through that, was there several moments you were just like, "Oh man, we're creating magic here."
Yeah, I mean, uh, I don't lower myself, but I mean, we were wrestling against them in not a normal match. It was for the belt, like a lot of eyes on that match. I knew that was going to help us to get booked or signed like somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we really, 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 really try to do as best as possible. And I mean, we did it. We did it.
And that finish, no one expected that finish using their move and everything. It was incredible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that was Mecha Wolf's idea. I give him props for that. Yeah.
Oh, he gets some credit then. That's good. So, I mean, let's talk about you and Mecha Wolf. You guys have wrestled against some of the best in the world. You mentioned obviously Mustache Mountain with Tyler and Trent, Lucha Bros, but you've been against so many. You've also been here in the UK as well and faced quite a few. How
Mhm.
how did that tag team come around with yourself and Mecha Wolf?
I can't remember. I mean, he was part of the crash, and I mean, Garza was doing his thing. Mecha Wolf was doing his thing. I was doing my thing. We didn't even wrestle with against each other or anything. Like we were in the same shows, but never together. Um, but then I think it was in Mexico City where Garza talked to me. Sorry to mention Garza, but that's how
No, no.
so how we started. Garza was like, "Hey, Bestia, you know what? Um, I don't want to live in the shadows of Rey Mysterio and the Lucha because they were called La Rebelión. They were the first Rebelión group. Um, Rey Mysterio, Pentagon, Phoenix, Daga, and Garza. So he's like, hey, I want to create my own rebellion. And since I'm a second generation and you're a second generation, I think we should team. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Um, but we needed someone else. And the first person that came to my mind was Mecha Wolf. Like, I think he was on. Like, even though people like him, he was underrated. I think, and not only helped me, Garza, but he also helped Mecha Wolf. Like I said, he he worked all over the world, but once the three of us created that group, that really changed everything. It changed everything. Lots of bookings, lots of feuds. We had to wrestle against Rush and his dad and Dragon Lee. Like we had to wrestle every people from CMLL, but then it was all good. It was all love, and then Garza went to WWE, and we talked, Mecha Wolf and I, and I'm like, hey, we were meant. I mean, not a relationship, but I mean, I told him, hey, it's like we were meant to be tag team because our look it's similar. Our wrestling like our technique is almost the same. Why not? Let's stay together and look what we accomplished. We were able to go to the UK together. We wrestle all over the states, all over Mexico, and I still we what we need to do now is just to get signed. I mean, we our home promotion is the Crash, but I think we're both of us are ready to sign with a big company.
I couldn't agree more. I think you two really deserve it, and you've gone against the best there is. You've both been, you've both appeared at big companies here and there, but I think it's about time that we got La Rebellion signed to a big company. I think it's well deserved. I would love to see you a Ring of Honor, an AEW, MLW as well, which is growing really well. And you actually appeared on MLW before, didn't you, as well?
Yes, yes, I did.
You haven't been to Japan yet. Is that somewhere that you would like to explore as well?
Yeah, I was able to go to China. I went and worked for OWE.
Mm.
That was good experience. Not the best food. It's different from what we're used to here in Tijuana or California. It's not the same. Um, Panda Express and all that is not there. It's not the same. But I mean, it was good. I felt good. I got to wrestle with Sima, T-Hawk, Lindaman. Yeah, I mean, but my main goal is to go to Japan. Actually, Mecha Wolf went, and I don't know if he stayed there for a year or something, but he worked there several times.
Mm.
My dad actually he wrestled in Mexico for, let's say, 3 or 4 years maybe, and then he had to almost live in Japan for 5 years. He signed
Wow.
with FMW, so he was working there a lot. I remember that I only saw him like for a week or two, and then he went back for 4 or 5 months, come back for a week, and then like he was like that for 5 years. Um, so yeah, my goal and my dream is to wrestle in Japan. I went when I was 7 years old, and I can say that I wrestled there because after my dad's match, I went out and my dad was already in the ring. My dad painted my face. I was wearing my wrestling gear. I went in. He did this gimmick where he mimicked all the other people, all other wrestler gimmicks. Um, so he was saying something in Japanese. I tried to say the same thing. So he was mad at me. He went out the ring. So I went like that. Like what's going on? So I hit the ropes and I did a dive on him and people went nuts. And actually at Sushi Onita, uh, we went back to the locker rooms and well I remember what he said, but he gave me an envelope and it was $300. I mean I wasn't
Wow.
expecting that. So I can say that
Wow.
I already wrestle in Japan. But yeah, I mean like I said, I wanna go. I don't care where. But I mean hopefully soon. Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
No, absolutely. I would love to see you guys in Japan. I think it would definitely. They always say people that wrestle in Japan come back totally different, don't they? And they evolve their
Yes.
styles and everything. So I think it'd be super cool to get you guys out there. But that is such a cool story about
Yeah.
with your dad, and that's fascinating. And we're going to go on to your dad shortly. But you recently came over to the UK. Late last year. You've been over a couple of times, wrestling, obviously, the likes of Kings of the North, Mustache Mountain, and More Than Hype as well. Talk to me about
And
the
the
UK
Hunter
scene.
brothers too.
Hunter Brothers was the other one, yes. I was thinking, and
Yeah.
there's one more missed out. But yeah, so tell me about the UK scene and what it was like for you to come over.
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, uh, I know UK wrestlers are strong, or for the lack of a word, they're stiff. That's what I knew. That's what I knew. I didn't know what. I mean, I will talk to Ray Horace. Hey, what's it like in the UK? I asked also Penta and Phoenix. Hey, what's up with that? And they're like, you'll be okay. I'm like, great. I'm the same. I just ask you guys, and you just say it's okay. Uh, but yeah, my first time there, it was our tag team match against the Hunter brothers. It wasn't how I expected to be because one of them got hurt in the middle of the match. And oh man, I was so frustrated. I was disappointed. I mean, accident happened, but it was our debut in the UK for Fight Club, and I was very excited. We have so much adrenaline. We were ready and we were working and blah blah blah. And Mecha did that dive. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know what happened, but he just got hurt. And I mean, I remember asking John Mecca, "Hey, what are we gonna do?" And he's like, "Fuck it, let's finish it." And I'm like, "You really? I don't know the rules here in the UK. Should we continue? What?" Because I saw the ref doing the sign. I'm like, What's going on?" But yeah, we finished the match. Still was good. We did a good job with one of the, I don't remember the name of who's who, but we finished the match. Um, I think we did a good job, trying to just finish, to just, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
kind of.
but you would go on to have a much more positive experience when you went up against the Kings of the North at
Yes.
OTT in Ireland. They speak very highly of you. So talk me through this match, because the story is you guys actually turned up 40 minutes before the match. You had to put the face paint on, and then there was about
Oh
10
yeah.
minutes to talk through the
I don't.
match.
Yeah, I don't remember why we were late. Uh, Maybe because we were waiting on Ray Horace. I don't know. He's such a big superstar. I'm just kidding. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, we were late. And one thing that I can do is do my face paint as the car is going. Uh, I usually do my face paint in the hotels, but I don't know. I didn't think we were gonna be late, but we're there. Everyone's ready, and I'm like, oh no, that's the worst thing that you can do to me. Like get there late and not be able to do my face paint because put so much. Um, I just love my face paint, and I like to
Yeah,
take my time going to details.
well,
You
you can
know,
really tell. Yeah.
so I it takes me like 30 to 40 minutes to do it. Um, well, this only took me like 20. This only had. But yeah, I was frustrated and I had to do my face paint. I had to put on my gear. I had to talk to the guys. Oh man. Uh, but I mean, I felt pressure because uh, I used to watch the OTT shows on YouTube, and I love the energy that the crowd puts, in the shows. So I was like, oh man, I have to be ready for this. I can screw it. And well, we went out, and I think we had a really 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 good match. I think the four of us had a lot of chemistry during the match, so I really love to do it again,
Yeah, I
either
think
in
there's
OTT or the Crash or I don't know where, but we totally should do it again.
yeah, no, I agree. I think Kings of the North are tag champions at the promotion that I work for in England, and I know that TNT really want to get you guys over. So I think that's the perfect match to put you in against the Kings of the North again. And they speak very highly of you, but there's also a funny moment in that match where yourself and Mecha Wolf are speaking Spanish, kind of giving the Kings of the North a hard time. And you didn't realize that a member of the Kings of the North actually spoke
Oh
fluent
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spanish.
I totally forgot about that, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, I think of course Mecha always likes to talk shit, and he responded and wow, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Huge
I don't
pop,
know
huge
how.
pop.
Uh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's great. That's great. Like Mecha Wolf and I, we always try to put stuff like that, and sometimes we didn't even think before. We just um, do it. I mean, but things like that's what I love about wrestling. That you know, uh, hey, also I want to mention that I went there and during the how's it called the rest time? No, what's it called? The
What, the interval?
because it was three. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were there selling our merch and stuff, and one girl came to me and she's like, "Hey, I'm from Mexico, and you are?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm from Monterrey." And I say, "Oh, I used to live there because I went to college there." And she's like, "Where?" And I'm UANL, and she's like, "Oh, my dad works there. He was a football coach." And I'm like, "He was? Yeah. Who was it? Oh, Cabral." And I'm like, "Oh, is that he was my coach?" I
No
mean,
way.
like
Wow.
what
What
are
a
the
small
odds?
world.
Yeah, very small. Yeah.
And you've had several other experiences in the UK, and hopefully we'll see you back soon. Um, but I want to kind of go back to your childhood now. So, for people that don't know, your father, Damien 666, is a huge legend, not just in Mexico, but he was part of WCW. He was part of the Latino World Order with Eddie Guerrero. Um,
Yes.
what was it like as you were growing up, being surrounded by the likes of Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and your father on the road quite a lot?
I mean, like every kid, their dad is their hero. I mean, my dad was my hero. He is my everything. Um, but like I said, I was more focused on football and school. And I remember that he used to he take me to the WCW shows, and I used to see Goldberg, all these superstars, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. But for me, it wasn't like a big deal. I mean, it was, but I mean, it was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm sitting next to whoever, the completely opposite of fans. I mean, I was born in wrestling,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, now I remember being at those shows with my dad, hanging out with, like I said, all other big names, Dean Malenko, like all these WCW stars. Um, you know, Conan, of course.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, of course. It was just like like a dream of other people. For me, it was just another day, you know.
And what was it like interacting with those guys as a kid? Even though you're born into it, you know that these guys are stars all over the world. But for you, was it just one of those where you talk to them and you learn things and you pick up things and you see your dad on the road with them? You're just a normal life.
It was normal for me. It was very, very, very normal for me. But I was the kind of kid that were, you know, when you pass the year, your school, you go to the next semester, and you have to introduce yourself and whatever, and you have to tell what your parents do for a living. And I remember, here we go again. Oh, my dad is a red. Oh, really? Do you know El Santo? Do you know Blue Demon? Oh, man, is wrestling fake? Is it? Do they hit each other? Oh, man. But I mean, I learned so much as a kid that helped me. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna help me now, but learning and watching, because of course I didn't speak English at that time, but like I said, I was in all those shows and stuff, and I was remember that when I went with my dad to all those shows, I was just sitting there, watching everything, paying attention, and I think that's what's been helping me, um, like to be humble, because I've seen a lot of things, good and bad. And I think what's keeping me going is just uh, I don't know if this is a word, but my humbleness.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm not saying I know everything, but I mean, I've been to all these places. I've been surrounded with like a lot of stars, superstars, and I've seen so much things that the fans don't know and that they don't imagine. And also is helping me because not only I perform with the crush, but I also help. Um, I take care of of flights. I don't book for the crash, but I just get the list and I contact the wrestlers, and I set up everything, the hotel, and yeah, I take care of that. So for some reason, being surrounded with all these people in my childhood, it's helping me now.
Absolutely. And God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero. Was that someone that you managed to learn off before he passed? Did you manage to spend any time with him whilst he was with your dad?
No, 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 no. I only saw him 2 times, and one time I spoke to him, and that's it. I was like 12 years old, I think, and he just told me, "Hijo," well, in Spanish, but he said, "Oh, your dad is a good person. God bless you," in Spanish, and I'm like, "Oh, like that's
Wow.
everything for me." Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a 5 minute talk, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just needed those words, and yeah,
And that
it
was
was
enough.
good.
Wow.
Yeah, but I did well. My dad talks really good about him. Um, I'm not. They didn't start together, but they were working a lot in El Paso, Texas, all like border towns. And yeah, he said he was awesome. He
What a
wasn't not only
star.
in the ring, but as a person too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard similar things. And, I think there is so much more we could. I feel like we need to do part two in the future because there is
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. We
much
should.
more of the story of Bestia 666 we need to tell.
Yes, yes. Like I said, mentioning about my tryouts, what I wanted to say is that if I had, if they offer me the contract back in 2012 and 2013, I don't know what was gonna happen because I wasn't mentally prepared for all that. I am now. I am now. I meditate every day. Um, I didn't know I needed therapy. I'm not as bad as
No,
I
no.
thought. But I mean, I just needed to order my feelings, my thoughts, and having a family and everything. I'm a different Leonardo. I'm a different Bestia, and I can say that I'm ready for that big step. To be signed.
Yeah, I hope that whether it's by summer next year when things get back to normal that those contracts are on the table because you deserve it. You really do. And I want to thank you for giving up your time and all the way from TJ. I know it's about 1 p.m. there now, I think, in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Um, and I can't believe we've been speaking for an hour. And, like I said, we
really.
haven't even scratched the surface. So I think we definitely
I
need to do
know.
part two
I
in
think
future.
this was just the
Absolutely,
introduction,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So when you come to the UK next, I think we get you and Mecha Wolf, and we just storm a few hours, and we get a full interview with cameras and everything.
For sure. I think we should go a week before the show so we can have time to
Yeah, I
to
agree,
hang
man.
out and to do an interview and everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah, for
agree.
sure.
I think we make that happen. Absolutely. But yeah, Bestia 666. Thank you so much for giving up your time. I really appreciate you. Coming here on Keep It Locked, and I'm looking forward to just getting this episode out because it's just so fascinating to hear all these stories.
No, thank you very much for the invitation. I didn't hesitate to respond to your text. I'm excited. Thank you for choosing me to be part of your interview, and hopefully we can do it soon, and hopefully we see each other in the UK very soon. Muchas gracias.